9, let's move on to the topic, the racial utopia. Germany was not only fighting the war, but proceeded to carry out their murderous racial ideal. One side, they were fighting the war, and on the other side, there was genocide. In Poland, members of the Polish intelligentsia were murdered in large numbers. Polish children who looked like Aryans were snatched and tested, and if they passed the test, they were raised by German families. In the area of the general government in Poland were the largest ghettos and gas chambers, which served as the killing fields for the Jews. Hitler was a fanatic and interested in the youth. A strong Nazi society could be established only by teaching the youth Nazi ideologies. Now, what was this Nazi ideology? And what happened in the schools of Nazi Germany? The schools were cleansed and purified. Meaning, please get the meaning of cleansed and purified according to the Nazis and Hitler. Teachers who were Jews or seen as politically unreliable were dismissed. Children were segregated. That means separated. Germans and Jews, that is, children of Germans and Jews, couldn't sit together or play together. Good German children received Nazi schooling and ideological training. School textbooks were rewritten. Children were taught to be loyal and hate Jews and worship Hitler. As if to say Hitler was some kind of god. Of course, for the Nazis and for the German people, he was considered to be a savior. Remember earlier, we had said that the propaganda was such that Hitler was believed to be a savior. That is, he had come to relieve the Germans of their difficulties, their diseases. The diseases were actually their difficulties that they were facing. Even in sports, children were to nurture a spirit of violence and aggression. For Hitler believed that boxing could make children iron-hearted, strong, and masculine. Youth organizations were formed and were entrusted for educating the youth. One such famous youth organization was Hitler Youth. It was an organization, a youth organization, where boys learned to worship war, glorify aggression and violence, condemn democracy, and hate Jews, gypsies, communists, and so on. These boys at the age of 18 had to serve in the armed forces. In 1922, the Youth League of the Nazis was founded, and as I had said it earlier, Hitler Youth, it was renamed Hitler Youth. Another astounding and a ridiculous policy of the Nazis was the cult of motherhood. Girls were told that they had to become good mothers and rear pure-blooded Aryan children. They had to maintain the purity of the race, distance themselves from Jews, look after the home and teach their children Nazi values. All mothers were not treated equally. Women who bore racially undesirable children were punished, and those who did were awarded. How were these women awarded? They were given favored treatment in hospitals and entitled to concessions in cinema halls, shops, and even railway fares. Even honor crosses were awarded. Women who did not follow the Nazi instructions and deviated were condemned and severely punished. And how were they punished? They were paraded through the town with shaved heads and blackened faces. Many received jail sentences and lost civic honor, not only their civic honor, but also their husbands and families. Now we go into the art of propaganda. Hitler and his Nazi party were expert at spreading propaganda. In fact, they had a propaganda minister. And now you would read how they used words to find support for the Nazi party as well as Hitler, and also giving different names to the gas chambers, disinfection areas where these Jews, gypsies, and Poles were killed in thousands. The Nazi regime used language and media with great care. They never used words like kill or murder. For mass killings, they used special treatment. Where the Jews were concerned, they used the word final solution. And where these disabled people were, they used the word euthanasia. For gas chambers, they used disinfection areas. Media was carefully used to win support for the regime. Nazi ideas were spread through visual images, films, radio, posters, catchy slogans, and leaflets or pamphlets. They attacked malicious foreign agents. Propaganda films were made to create hatred for Jews. Jews were referred to as vermin, rats, and pests. Therefore, Nazism worked on the minds of the people, tapped their emotions, and turned the hatred and anger at those marked as undesirable. Let us refer to one of the most infamous films that was ever produced. It is named The Eternal Jew. Nazis sought to win the support of the people by suggesting that Nazis alone could solve all their problems. How did the common people react to Nazism? Many were greatly influenced by Nazi ideologies. They felt hatred and anger on seeing a Jew. They marked the houses of Jews and reported suspicious neighbors. But not every German was a Nazi. Many organized active resistance to Nazism, braving death. However, now the third side was the people who were the large majority of Germans were passive onlookers and witnesses. They never uttered a word. They were too scared to act, prefer to protest. They preferred to look away. The Jews began to think themselves as stereotyped. The images publicized in the Nazi press haunted the Jews. Nazi propaganda about Jews had killed the Jews even before they reached the gas chambers. They were so stereotyped that they began to think themselves of what the Nazi party had spread the propaganda about the Jews. And therefore, they died even before. That is to say, that they thought that their lives were of no use, even before they reached the gas chambers. Information about Nazi practices began to trickle out of Germany. But this was only after the war ended and Germany was defeated that the world came to realize the horrors of what had happened. So, this is termed as the Holocaust. What is the Holocaust? Holocaust was the Nazi killing operations. The ghetto and the camp inhabitants kept accounts in diaries, notebooks about brutal Nazi operations. On the other hand, when the war seemed lost, Nazi leadership distributed petrol to destroy all incriminating evidence available in offices. The Holocaust was an event that lived in memoirs, fiction, documentaries, poetry, memorials, and museums in many parts of the world. These are tributes to those who resisted it, who resisted the killing operations of the Nazis. An embarrassing reminder to those who supported the Nazi killing operations or the Nazi ideologies and believed in the Nazi propaganda. And to those who supported, as I told you earlier, it was a reminder, an embarrassing reminder that you collaborated with them, and now this is a reminder that you will be embarrassed. It was a warning to those who watched in silence. That is, they could be the next on the list. Well, according to the present situation, I don't know, I'm just assuming, I'm not even predicting, but I'm assuming that the next Holocaust is approaching fast. And you will come to learn about it very soon. Already, news and evidences are trickling out of a certain country. And therefore, the next Holocaust will be out soon. Girls and boys of class 9, please go through these videos. But make sure that you have proper intervals of time. Right? Keep your eyes safe. So you can always subscribe to the channel. Right? You can like it, subscribe, so that it will encourage me to make better videos in the near future.